huge problem, if not to say for many perhaps even impossible, to recapture, to gain what they have lost during this 12 months in terms of the COVID pandemic. So if it is one thing that we need to do, it is to put children at the center of the recovery. Here in Kosovo, Unicef has done an outstanding work, and together with the rest of the UN family, we have tried and we have consistently advocated to put children at the center from different perspectives, whether it's from the health response, whether it's from the education response, as well as from the broader socioeconomic response. So I really welcome this initiative. I would like to also congratulate the ministry. There is a bit of a background noise here. I would also like to congratulate the ministry and recognize the fact that the vision was to have schools the last to close and the first to open. This is very important. We know that there are several thousands of children in Kosovo that live in conditions where home learning is not possible, where the place at home is not conducive for learning, nor is it particularly safe or healthy. So the fact that schools remain open and are the first to, the last to close and the first to open is very essential. Finally, I would like to, we are very much behind UNICEF in this initiative. We are very much also supporting the Kosovo institutions to be able to benefit fully from this initiative, but also as we go forward to really, when we look at the recovery from COVID, that we look at ways how we can not only bring back how the situation was now almost exactly a year ago, but how we can actually recover better, how we can create a society that is truly better, and particularly truly better for children. So again, congratulations to partners, congratulations UNICEF, and to your international partners, including Sweden. I really would like to thank you for this invitation and also wish you an excellent event today. Over to you, Murad. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ulrika. It has been a pleasure and honor to work with you, as well as in materializing UN reform to work for children and sister UN agencies that are also online joining us today. We will build back better, and we are reimagining an education and a world fit for children. I would like to pass the floor to Excellency Minister Rameli Khan. He has been a close ally and supporter. Over to you, Mr. Likan.
Thank you, Murat. I would like to thank you, Murat, head of UNICEF office in Kosovo. I would like to thank Ms. Ulrika, United Nations Development Coordinator, Ms. Khan, UNICEF Regional Office Director, Mr. Jenkins, Education and Associate Director of UNICEF, representatives of Microsoft, dear ambassadors, donors, development partners, dear Mr. Kwitim Goshi, General Director of Agency for Information Security, Ms. Mecha, dear Riyad, dear Ilta, dear students, teachers, municipal education directors, school directors, dear parents, dear participants. It is an honor to be part of such event organized by UNICEF Kosovo and contribute jointly to expand education. Thanks to all stakeholders, Ministry of Education and Science, thanks to school teachers, municipal education directors, parents, donors, different association and people of goodwill. Thanks to Union of Teachers Union, we have organized distance learning. Even though we have organized distance learning and since March 2020, around 4% of students did not have access to distance learning due to different reasons, such as lack of IT equipment, lack of internet access, or weak internet connection, lack of sufficient number of equipments, lack of unique digital platform, limited capacities of teachers to use the technology, and qualitative distance learning. As you are informed, all education institutions have been closed in March 2020, and the Ministry of Education and Science faced challenges in organizing distance learning, but also in dealing with public health. So we were concerned to protect lives of students, teachers, school administrators, parents, and family members. And but we have taken one decision, which is schools first to be open and laws to be closed. Jointly with municipal education directors, education institutions, Ministry of Health, National Health Institute, partners, donors, Union of Teachers, Union of Parent Association, we have addressed that issue, and all issues that have been addressed during and faced during the first phase of COVID-19 crisis. Of course, Unicef is one strategic partner for Kosovo for an education, its education system for more than 20 years, especially for early childhood education, to supporting and strengthening of the quality, accessibility, and inclusiveness of education for all children, as well as by reaching and empowering adolescents and youth in Kosovo. MES recognizes and appreciates continued support provided by Unicef, which has been extended significantly during the COVID-19 pandemic. The support for distance learning and preparation of schools for reopening, always taking into consideration the health and well-being of children and education staff. The valuable support from Unicef during this critical time will be presented by myself in details in the following presentation. At the same time, I hereby confirm that Ministry of Education and Unicef will continue its joint collaboration in different areas of education, and especially in engaging and making the Learning Passport a unique digital learning platform for children scaled up across all schools in Kosovo. So, first line. First line. Okay. As you are aware, Kosovo education system performed not good in the PISA results 2018, and we are concerned about the quality of provision of Kosovo education system. But we've started preparation, and we've started to take actions jointly with Unicef and other donors and partners, and all stakeholders involved in the education system in order to improve our education provision. During the April, we will have a PISA testing for 2021, but we will also work together with Central Bank for financial education on students, which it is also part of PISA test 2020. We have taken some measures, let's say, for revision of learning content. We have worked and we prepared law on textbook, and for the first time, I have taken decision for complete revision of textbooks by phases. And in the first phase, there will be included textbooks of grade 4 and grade 9. COVID-19 puts additional burden on teachers, schools, parents, and students. So there was a complete lockdown after the first registered infection on 13th of March. and we have been under pressure to organize a distance learning. Some schools already have taken measures, and they organize by themselves distance learning. There are some good examples, but we did not have unique platform, and we've had difficulties on recording of learning content. So the advent of COVID-19 has caused all education institutions to close and learning to move online. With this have been faced 345 children of Kosovo due to COVID-19 school closure, but also 1,118 pre-university education institutions. This means preschools, kindergartens, lower primary and upper secondary education have been closed, and the key challenge for that, it was to protect health of children, teachers, school administrators, and community. This still remains a top priority for us. But also, as I mentioned during my first opening speech, that it was we've been facing also with lack of IT equipment, lack or bad internet connections, but also limited resources and limited capacities of teachers and others to use digital technology. But of course, the COVID-19 crisis told us that this is one opportunity to use innovative approaches and to use innovation and technology for education reform and to improve the quality of education provision. So the cooperation school, of course, are the first to open and last to close during the COVID-19 crisis. And together with our partners and donors, we have prepared a master plan and a guideline how to behave during the COVID-19 pandemic, which will be explained in the next slide. But Unicef is our key partner, and we work with them in partnership for more than 20 years, and mainly in field of online early childhood development. Digital platform was launched to enable at-home skills development. The platform currently has 209,000 unique users and 2.6 million visitors. Until now, UNICEF provided more than 5,000 packages of didactic materials, and we have allocated around 30 million euros only to cope with the pandemic, with the COVID crisis. This means we have allocated Ministry of Education funds for buying more than 5,000 tablets and laptops, and we have distributed in the first phase 500,000 protection face masks, and until now, by support of UNICEF and other partners, we have recorded around 15,000 learning videos for grades 1 to 9, which is produced in all languages in Kosovo, but also for the first time in for Roma language and culture in Europe. But also the support has been provided regarding distribution of tablets and braille machines for marginalized group, for special needs education, and protection kits for children of first grade and teachers. Together with development partners and with donors and all stakeholders, but also in close cooperation with the Ministry of Health and the National Health Institute, we have produced a general guide which is created based on a recommendation of World Health Organization, UNICEF, SDC, and the other organization, and we have organized the education system based on 3 scenarios, scenario A, B, C, which are still under use and will be explored in the next slide. Scenario A means low level of risk, low number of infections, and the school system and education system is organized with presence of students at the school premises. Of course, detailed description of necessary infrastructure and measure is presented on this general guide. Scenario B is with medium risk level. This means partial opening of the schools, partial return combined lessons with presence and distance learning, this with priority for grades 1 to 5. Maximum of number of students in the class is decided. We have prepared the lesson plans. We have part-time participation in the schools. For some students, also online tutoring and regular reporting and the reported COVID-19 related deficiencies. Of course, detailed descriptions are given and produced in the posters, which have been distributed by support of Unicef to all education institutions in Kosovo. And scenario C, this means organizing with high level of risk, organizing distance learning by TV plus e-learning. And also our intention today is to launch online education platform. MES and UNICEF supported also in development of COVID-19 registering and reporting system to track down the cases of students and education staff infections with COVID-19 in Kosovo. And until now, the results that we have from National Health Institute and from our education inspectors are that have been tested almost 25,000 teachers, students, and administration staff. From the results that we had until now, 9.7% of tested teachers have been infected with COVID. The percentage of students is lower, 0.42. And for that, I would like to thank also National Health Institute for their readiness and cooperation. Now, today we are launching a platform will be used widely also after the COVID-19 crisis. This means creating a new normal, advancing with education reform at times of COVID. And the platform is called Shkolat.org. This means one digital ID email per student, one platform with all recorded lessons, one platform for interaction between students and teachers, one platform for bringing in innovation, for improving quality of education through Upshift, Ponder, and Podium beyond COVID-19 crisis. So it will be offered for all students, teachers, and teachers of Kosovo. And for that, I would like to congratulate Murat, his team, and also Microsoft for their support in providing a unique digital education platform for Kosovo. Thank you, Murat, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Minister Likay. And it's also amazing to see so many directors of education departments from municipalities and school headmasters connecting us today. As you said, Kosovo, before COVID-19, was facing an education crisis. It was bottom third on the PISA, and we were already talking with the international community how to change the game. With COVID-19, lots of burden put, but I think the amazing thing with the partnership with the Education Ministry and the directors of education departments from the municipal level is how do we change the game and use it as an opportunity. Now we will go to Coseta and the technical team who are the ones behind on using the nuts and bolts of the learning passport, connecting global expertise with Kosovo IT geeks and developing the learning passport. Over to you, Coseta.
Thank you, Murat. Thank you, Minister Likay. It is always a pleasure to collaborate closely with you and your team. So, as you have already mentioned in your presentation, Mr. Likay, we are actually today demonstrating and celebrating our strong collaboration in making education accessible to all children in Kosovo. At the same time, before I start with presentation, please let me express my gratitude to all key speakers, to all guests from the regional office, from headquarters, Microsoft, UNKT, and our local institutions, and of course, all other participants, especially students, especially teachers that did find time today to join us in such an important milestone event for children of Kosovo. In the next few minutes, I will try to present the International Learning Passport Partnership and the many benefits and features that its localized version of the digital platform mësuarit.org will offer us. So from the very beginning, the COVID-19 pandemic, of course, that it had an impact in the education system in Kosovo, like in many other countries, like worldwide. So from mid-March last year, there were around 345,000 students that were left out of school, with, of course, when the efforts were from the ministry and from the government of Kosovo to minimize the spreading of the pandemic. Therefore, they have closed and kept children at home for months. Unable to provide in-person education, schools had to try and to continue through different remote learning options. However, today we are celebrating overcoming these challenges and turning this crisis into an opportunity for the education sector. As a first step, let us understand a little bit more on what the Learning Passport is. And I'm sure that you're gonna hear more in this regard. However, let me start with it. So the Learning Passport is an international partnership between Unicef, Microsoft, and University of Cambridge that has been designed to meet the needs of all primary, secondary, school-level children and adolescents by providing access to learning remotely from wherever they are, and of course, providing support for their continued education. As a second step, so Kosovo has been selected to be part of this journey. Therefore, UNICEF has supported the Ministry of Education to adapt the Learning Passport to the Kosovo needs, and of course, to develop the local digital learning platform, mësuarit.org, that will provide education for all children in Kosovo through an organized e-learning. And as a third step, mësuarit.org will facilitate Kosovo curriculum for children and youth whose schools have been forced to close in response to COVID-19 and beyond. To continue further, as a result of our close collaboration and in coordination with Ministry of Education, all education learning videos, the full curriculum for grades 1 to 9, have been uploaded on the platform. As a second step, there are more than 14,000 videos that are now available into one single place, into one single platform for the first time. And all learners will have the opportunity to watch them and to learn from them at any time they want, any time they need, and from anywhere the learners are. Another opportunity of this great importance that come with this platform is that there will be one well-fitted digital platform that streamlines teachers, that streamline their training and capacity building, which was flagged many times as a major need in Kosovo. Thanks to our efforts, this is something that has started already, and there's an opportunity to look at closing this digital divide to work towards connecting all schools in Kosovo to the internet and to make sure that every child, every young person has safe access to the information and has the opportunity and has a choice they need to fulfill their potential. We say that this is the era of a digital platform of education. Therefore, we connect schools, empowering learners always putting children and digital transformation in the center of education reform. Finally, the highlight of Shkola.org system is a long-awaited one unique email account for all children in Kosovo. This means that now every child will have an email account, as it is highlighted already in the slide in the red color. Students, teachers, and parents will, through this one-stop platform, have access to all these resources, and educators can communicate with children and their parents. Of course, that it is important to highlight, as previously mentioned, there will be like more than 14,000 learning videos already available in 4 languages, Albanian, Bosniak, Turkish, and Roma language. There will be a free subscription and maintenance. It is important to highlight that the licenses of Microsoft products and their ability will be free of charge, and many, many other benefits that are being required and that will support the education. Schools in Kosovo reopened in September last year, like in many other countries. And since then, there have been lots of emphasis to keep them open and to keep them safe. The sheer relief of going back to physical schools also meant a desire to go back to business as usual. However, the experiences from the shutdown period must be used as an opportunity to reform the education system as we enter to the new normal situation. The digital platform Shkolat.org and its development in a record time, I must say, with ongoing efforts, with ongoing support day and night by the Ministry of Education, by Unicef headquarters team, regional office, municipalities, schools, teachers, parents, is only a starting point. This platform has a huge potential in being part of improving the quality of the education and its accessibility at the same time. Let me highlight that this is just the beginning of one longer journey where we jointly will continue working on improving the platform with additional information, with additional materials and features to improve the quality and accessibility. Therefore, we are not stopping here. So this is a joint journey with Ministry of Education, and we'll continue identifying the ones that are left behind, continue providing inclusive education, continue improving curriculum, continue enriching it with experiential and participatory learning, and continue engaging and empowering, therefore being always there for the ones that are in need. As you can see, the platform really has a critical role to play during and beyond COVID-19, and that is why we will continue with our support. This is all from our side, and in order not to take much of your time, let me pass the floor to our technical team to provide us with more detailed information on how the platform works for learners, for teachers, and parents. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kosova. I would like to invite Avnor and Albert to briefly speak about the benefits of the platform quickly. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Albert Aliu. I am a local engineer together with a team in Kosovo. We have been able to localize the local instance of Learning Passport to be used in the education system in Kosovo. Today, technical aspects and also to the engaged stakeholders of this process. So as I mentioned, we are coming from a local startup company who has been engaged by UNICEF to deploy the Learning Passport in Kosovo in close cooperation with Ministry of Education and also other stakeholders, as well as Agency of Information Society and Microsoft itself. So as mentioned earlier by Koseta and by Murat and others, the platform itself will have approximately 14,000 videos which in numbers and in technical aspects is approximately 10 terabytes of content at the first phase, which leaves a very huge experience for us as a team and also a new experience in the market. This platform itself, it was tested with 115 concurrent users at the same time, and accomplishing 10 courses with 10 different lessons, which means that the platforms is quite flexible and stable when it comes to the high number of concurrent users, having in mind the 345,000 students which are part of the pre-education system in Kosovo. On the other side, Learning Passports offers the opportunity of leaving no one behind via the access of email under shkola.org, where every child will have an email, and also access via a cell phone number through the same platform and through the same content. In this way, we are not leaving anybody behind. I will try to mention in 5 pillars what are the benefits of Ministry of Education, schools, teachers, children's, parents. So in regards to Ministry of Education, it will create the first digital database for the entire pre and university system, where the ministry will have the data of the children's, such as names, surnames, emails, and which school they belong. In regards to the schools, it will provide the opportunity to manage the digital identities of both staff and students. In regards to the teachers, it will give the opportunity to easily be able to track and monitor the student progress, to use different applications within Teams for testing purposes, discussions, whiteboard, and many more applications which are offered by the Microsoft for the educational purposes. In regards to the children's, it will create a single digital access to watch the video materials, to communicate via Teams in speaking, written, and all other means of communication. It will give them a digital identity with unique email address, access to cloud storage, and in regard to the parents, they will be able to communicate digitally via the teachers through Teams as guests at this stage. Furthermore, the email under shkola.org will have 50 gigabytes of space, where each children will have this space until he will reach the university degree. We'll have licensed products which are depicted on the pictures, such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Teams, and many others, which can be accessed, some of them online, and Teams and others may be downloaded and used via within classes, and also to communicate with groups or with the class itself. And what is most important is that every single email will have 1 terabyte of cloud storage under the email shkola.org. So I tried to cover some of the benefits of shkola.org and Learning Passport, but there are many other benefits which are part of this platform. And as Coseta mentioned, this is just the beginning of a lot of things to come under this platform. So I would like to thank you very much on behalf of my team, and all the best and success to all of us on this platform.
Thank you, Albert, and thank you for coming up with a language that lay people like me understands, because I know how many hours over the weekends and days with the IT nerds and geeks that you have spent, and how many obstacles that you have overcome. We agreed to document it on a paper that shares with other countries what does it mean to make an education system digital and online. And I would like to congratulate the Minister, Rame and Coseta and the team on their presentations. Now we will be moving to look at our experience from a different level. Later we will come back to the field. We will be hearing from students, from parents and teachers on the ground. But before that, I would like to invite Afshan Khan, our regional director, and she has been an inspiration and a challenger for us. Her inspiration for us was think how you can bring something big and innovative at scale that shows the relevance of UNICEF in countries like, in places like Kosovo, where middle-income and up-income countries, but they face challenges in a different way. So thank you, Afshan, for challenging and inspiring us to think differently and to bring in added value to education system and all children in Kosovo. Over to you, Afshan.
Thank you very much, Murat. And first of all, let me say for His Excellency Rame Lekai, Minister of Education, Ulrika Richardson, UN Development Coordinator, distinguished speakers from partner institutions, dear colleagues, young people, students, teachers. It's an honor to be with you this afternoon at a very important start. So first of all, good afternoon, and let me start by congratulating His Excellency, Mr. Rame Lekai, Minister of Education and Science, for his vision and his statement that during the pandemic, schools must be the last to close and the first to open. Today, thanks to the partnership with the ministry and the international community, and with the use of innovation that we heard about just earlier, learning was provided for all children when schools were closed. Further, since September 2020, schooling has resumed using a hybrid form of on-site learning. As the Europe and Central Asia region grapples with the social and economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the focus of this launch is especially pertinent. The pandemic's socioeconomic consequences are being felt in real time for many children. If left unaddressed, the fallout can be long-term, perhaps even lifelong. COVID-19 has created the largest disruption of education systems in history, affecting 1.6 billion learners in more than 190 countries worldwide. Without ingenuity, innovation, and collaboration, we threaten to unravel the recent progress made towards Sustainable Development Goal 4 to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. On the one hand, the pandemic has led to loss of learning opportunities due to school closures, and this has further deepened the existing disparities in education, particularly for children in poor families, rural areas, girls, and children with disabilities. On the other hand, this crisis has stimulated innovations within the education sector. Systems have had to adapt swiftly to make sure learning can continue. Distance education solutions have been many, from take-home packages to radio, television, and online classes. UNICEF has worked alongside governments in planning for continued learning and the reopening of schools. Closing the digital divide and ensuring connectivity is now an urgent priority. This includes enhancing accessibility and inclusion by design for students who live with disabilities. Throughout Europe and Central Asia, UNICEF is accelerating learning outcomes, especially for the most vulnerable children, through our Learn initiative, which provides digital solutions for effective, inclusive, equitable, and technology-enhanced education. Learning is supporting innovation across the region to improve personalized learning, teachers' digital skills and pedagogy, relevant content, and connectivity to improve engagement and outcomes when learning takes place. Learning Passport, which will be deployed in multiple countries through Learn, is critical in migrating the immediate and long-term impacts of disruption to education by ensuring that students and teachers remain connected and that no child is left behind. Here in Kosovo, through a partnership between the UNICEF Country Office, the Regional Office, Microsoft, and the University of Cambridge, the platform will narrow the digital divide for 345,000 students whose schools may have been closed due to COVID-19. Learning Passport is a learner-centered and flexible platform, providing collaborative spaces and tailored support for both teachers and students. By strengthening the instructional core of quality teaching, learner engagement, and effective content. Learning Passport provides a unique opportunity to prioritize equity and improve learning quality, especially for vulnerable children. Because of this, Learning Passport plays a key role in a larger education reform and investment in Kosovo. Therefore, the importance of this platform and its relevance to improving education in Kosovo will extend well beyond the COVID-19 pandemic. And we think the learning from in Kosovo will influence the rest of the region as well. UNICEF is committed to delivering results for children by learning from our experience in scaling up evidence-based digital learning solutions, such as the one we're launching today. This is why our regional digital learning initiative, Learnin, emphasizes evidence generation and the documentation and sharing of lessons learned throughout the region as core components of implementation proceed. UNICEF Regional Office, in collaboration with the country office, will, through Learnin, complement Shkolat in supporting students and teachers as lifelong learners. Learnin will provide quality, personalized, and culturally relevant learning opportunities within a digital environment and foster collaboration and shared practice. Ladies and gentlemen, and students, education is not only a basic right, it's also an enabling right that has a bearing on the realization of all other rights. This launch is a practical step in our collective mission to reimagine education so that all children are able to realize these rights. I think together we will move forward with bold, innovative, and collective action to make sure that we leave no child behind. And we're counting on the collaboration at all levels to make this possible. So thank you for the opportunity to share this journey with you.
Thank you so much, Afshan. It's really motivating and inspiring us. Education, not a basic right, it's an enabling right for all other rights. It's a bold initiative and a collective action of partners. One of the beauties of Shkola.org enables the Ministry of Education and the partners to tailor-made specific programs and support to 345,000 children, 33,400 teachers on identifying their specific needs, even coming up with solutions that goes to targeted audience like children with disabilities or coming from different ethnic backgrounds. With that, I would like to invite Robert Jenkins, who is our global lead based in New York on pushing UNICEF's education agenda at the global level. Thanks to Afshan and Robert, we have been able to connect with Microsoft and Cambridge, and thanks to their support in connecting us, we are today in launching Shkola. Robert, it's over to you, Rob.
Oh, thank you very much, Murad. Your Excellency, officials from the government of Kosovo, dear colleagues from the United Nations system, students, teachers, education officials, colleagues from the regional office, Afshan and our dear friends, colleagues in the country office, and our global team of working on the Learning Passport, who I know many of you are connected from around the world, our friends and colleagues from Microsoft and others. Actually, as you can see from my opening, it's clearly this great success and this very exciting day is an expression of such a wide range of partners working at all levels, and it's something we greatly appreciate and sincerely see the potential of. I can't tell you how excited I am from afar, from the global level, seeing how Kosovo is leading in this initiative, and we will do our best to continue to support this exciting initiative, but also to amplify and use it as a model to inspire other countries. My dear friend and colleague Afshan Khan, the regional director, was mentioning how other countries are rolling it out. That indeed, not only in the region, but also around the world. And Kosovo is at the leading edge of that, partly from the aspiration and the ambition of reaching every child is truly inspirational, and will draw lots of lessons from this experience to inspire others. It indeed has been an incredibly challenging time for children all over the world. I think, as we all know, at the height of the impact of the pandemic on education, we had over 90% of the global student body with their schooling disrupted. This would have been a number that would have been unthinkable before this pandemic. So indeed, the scale of the challenge has been at times overwhelming for children themselves, teachers, parents, leaders in countries, and those of us working in other areas. I do think, though, inspirations like this, it has enabled us to leapfrog initiatives and innovations, and I'm very optimistic that in the end, these inspirations and innovations and new ways of reaching children with world-class digital tools will enable education systems to be stronger and will enable children's learning experience to be that much better. The disparities that have become visible or increasingly visible during this challenging time, and particularly the impact of the disruption on education to the marginalized, I think has marginalized children in each context all over the world, has inspired all of us to work overtime in a different new way to reach marginalized children, so indeed everyone can realize their right to education and realize their full potential. So we remain on a 24/7 call to continue to support this initiative. I just want to again reiterate how important this is. The organization UNICEF is fully mobilized to ensure the success of this initiative, again, so that it can draw lessons for other governments, other partners throughout the world. I also want to give an acknowledgement to our key partner, Microsoft, who I know Jane's going to soon speak, but also our colleagues at the University of Cambridge and many other partners around the world that are working to realize the potential of this initiative. So thanks again to all, and I very much look forward to participating in the event.
Thank you so much, Rob. Your team has been staying connected with the ground and technical IT experts of the ministry, as well as our T4D technical consultants. As you rightly said, aspiration and ambition. And I remember 2 years back when you attended a regional management team meeting, there you were looking for, we need to disrupt the education and change the game and do something different and big and go digital on the education in shifting the quality of education and its outreach for all children. Great to work together with your team 24/7. As you rightly said, all this wouldn't happen if we don't have our private sector partners from the global level as well as at the local level. I would like to invite Jennifer Brooks, Director of Humanitarian Partnership for Microsoft Philanthropies at Microsoft headquarters. Jennifer, it's over to you.
Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon to everybody. I'm honored to be here. Thank you, Rob, for your kind words, to all of the government authorities in Kosovo and to all of the UNICEF team in Kosovo as well, and our partners. I want to highlight the presence here of our Microsoft education team as well in the Central and Eastern Europe, who I know have enabled the Kosovo Ministry of Education and the partnership with the tools for this very important moment and historical moment, this tipping point for the Learning Passport and its global footprint around the world. The Learning Passport was born in partnership with UNICEF after a dream workshop where we challenged ourselves to determine how could we provide every child and every young person to access continuous education through digital tools when in emergencies or in humanitarian crisis. The Learning Passport is not only an online platform, but also an offline upcoming opportunity that is optimized for low bandwidth, for mobile first environments, and has the flexibility designed to integrate all of the local, national, and international content to support all of the learning scenarios from a small child to a young adult, to offer an array of tools for teachers and trainers to enable constant learning and education. These are extraordinary times. We're leaning in as a company to be the backbone that supports UNICEF's dream and support every child and every young person in their education in this digital world. Thank you all for our opportunity to contribute.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. It started with a journey from an emergency, people on the move, and now the world is going through a change, and we are all trying to adjust to a new normal where digital connectivity will be at the heart. And as you correctly said, one of the beauties of Scholat.org, the app makes all the lessons available for offline use. So any student from any corner of Kosovo, once they have internet connection at school and different places, they can download the courses, watch their own face, go through their study, do their homeworks offline. Thank you so much. I'm looking for Andreas Fibier, Regional Lead for Microsoft Philanthropies from Central and Eastern Europe. Andreas, it's over to you. While we are getting Andreas on, I would like to invite Mr. Kustim Gashi. He's the Director General of the Agency of Information Society. Today, we are very much more connected with each other on digital world, but how do we protect the digital identity of each and everyone getting connected? Thank you, Kustim, for being online today and also providing the support on establishment of Scholat.org. Over to you.
Përshëndetje të gjithëve. Përshëndetje për të gjithë pjesëmarrësit dhe konsideroj jashtëzakonisht të privilegj të jam I pranishëm në një event, një diskutim të një rëndësie të veçantë për fëmijët e Kosovës, për nxënësit, për mësimdhënësit dhe për institucionet e Republikës Kosovës. Përshëndes veçanërisht Ministrin e Arsimit, zoti Ram Lika, I cili ka dhënë një kontribut të jashtëzakonshëm gjatë kësaj kohe dhe gjatë kësaj periudhe kur ne po ballafaqohemi me sfidat, siç ballafaqohet gjithë bota me sfidat globale të pandemisë. Gjithashtu një falënderim dhe një respekt veçantë për kontributin që projekti I Unicefit po mbështet aktualisht Kosovën në këtë fushë. Gjithashtu falenderoj dhe jam mirënjohës për punën dhe kontributin që po ofron korporata Microsoft në lehtësimin e punës së nxënësve dhe fëmijëve tanë me produktet shumë të rëndësishme që Kosova I shfrytëzon platformat e Microsoftit, siç është platforma Teams. Në këtë ndërmarrje, në këtë përbërje të shumë akterëve të rëndësishëm, duke përfshirë edhe Universitetin e Cambridge-it, në krijimin e kushteve të sa më të mira për mësimin online, është shumë e rëndësishme të theksoj se agjencia, duke qenë unë përfaqësuesi një agjencie të rëndësishme shtetërore për digitalizim procesesh dhe transformim digital në nivel shtetëror në Republikën e Kosovës, ne jemi përpjekur që të krijojmë një relacion bashkëpunimi me të gjitha institucionet e veçanërisht në kohën e pandemisë. Është bërë një punë e jashtëzakonshme në koordinim të aktiviteteve me Ministrinë e Arsimit. Do doja ta përmend njërin nga zyrtarët në Ministrinë e Arsimit, Veton Ali Hajdarin, I cili ka dhënë një kontribut të jashtëzakonshëm në bashkërendimin e aktiviteteve për krijimin e kushteve për mësimin online për nxënësit. Duke pas parasysh se ne shfrytëzojmë një kontratë të kahershme tani e sa vite që kemi marrëdhënie kontraktuale me korporatën Microsoft dhe marrim licencat e Microsoftit për punëtorët e administratës e veçanërisht për nxënësit, për punëtorët arsimor, ne kemi përfituar një benefit të jashtëzakonshëm që nxënësit kanë përfituar licencat dhe qasje në Office 365 si benefit falas për të gjithë nxënësit e Republikës Kosovës. Dhe natyrisht, ajo çka është shumë e rëndësishme, deri tani ne kemi arritur që të krijojmë dikun rreth 80.000 llogari elektronike për nxënësit dhe mësimdhënësit, që rreth 50.000 prej tyre janë nxënës, e që tani kjo është vërtet një parakusht jashtëzakonshëm për mësimin online. Mirë, po gjithë kjo ndërmarrje, gjithë kjo aktivitet, gjithë kjo mbështetje nga Ministria e Arsimit dhe Ministri Ligaj në këtë periudhë kohore, do të ishte e pamundur që të konkretizohet dhe të finalizohet në mënyrën çfarë synohet sot, që të arrihet me mbështetjen e projektit që po financohet tani nga Unicef, që po koordinohen me aktorët Microsoft dhe Universitetin e Cambridge-it. Është shumë e rëndësishme se pasaporta e mësimit është ajo që Kosovën e bën të ndihet e privilegjuar, me qenë se është po bëhet pjesë e një aktiviteti global, një aktiviteti që vërtet mund ta përmirësojë edhe gjendjen e mësimit në Kosovë, sidomos në rrethonat e pandemisë. Një element i rëndësishëm është që këto llogari që tani nxënësit dhe mësimdhënësit kanë, llogari në domenin shkollat.org, mundson që aplikojnë mësimin nga distanca përmes platformës Teams, e që deri tani ka rezultuar pozitivisht dhe me rezultate të jashtëzakonshme në eliminimin e mungesave dhe distancës mes nxënësve dhe arsimtarëve. Unë konsideroj se është një moment shumë i rëndësishëm që në Kosovë, pas një ballafaqimi të një situate të papritur në fakt, pas pandemisë, të synohet që me këtë projekt të mësimit online dhe me pasaportën e mësimit në Kosovë, të unifikohen të gjitha proceset mësimore të mësimit online duke shfrytzuar si një platformë të vetme, me qëllim që të eliminohen një numër i madh i platformave të mësimit online që në fakt nuk ofrojnë as për sa afërmi kapacitetin që ofron një aktivitet i ndërmarrë i kësaj natyre në mbështetje të shumë aktorëve dhe partnerëve tepër të rëndësishëm dhe strategjik për vendin, sidomos në fushën e mësimit online. Projekti i Unicefit unë konsideroj se do të krijoj një favor të jashtëzakonshëm për ne, që ne si agjenci nuk ja kemi dalur që vetëm në bashkëpunim me Ministrinë e Arsimit ta realizojmë një aktivitet të një rëndësie çfarë mund të ketë për masa tani, me ndërmarrjen e një aktiviteti dhe bashkërëndimi siç po e shohim tani. Microsofti si një korporate e fuqishme e zhvillimeve të teknologjisë, vërtet ka dhënë një kontribut edhe në të kaluarën, mirë po tani është një vlerë e shtuar për fshirja e përbashkët në një ndërmarrje të përbashkët për krijimin e një platforme unike për mësim nga distanca dhe për krijimin e relacioneve mes nxënësve, arsimtarëve dhe prindve. Ngarkimi i video incizimeve në këtë platformë dhe unifikimi një portali të vetëm, një qendre të vetëm të mësimit, për nxënësit besoj se do të jetë një lehtësim edhe për prindrit. Gjatë krejt këtyre aktiviteteve, unë do të falenderoja komunat, drejtoritë e arsimit që kanë dhënë një kontribut të jashtëzakonshëm, me veçanërisht prindrit që janë bërë pjesë e mësimit online gjatë kësaj periudhe. Pa mbështetjen dhe pa përkrahjen e prindve, pa gatishmërinë e tyre, besoj se s'do t'ja dilnim mban këtij suksesi çfarë aktualisht ne po presim, kemi dhënë rezultate dhe po presim që të përfitojmë edhe më tepër në këtë aktivitet të përbashkët, të përfshirë nga një numër i madh aktorësh. Unë edhe një herë ju përgëzoj për kontributin, për mbështetjen dhe për përkrahjen që po ofroni me projektin e financuar nga Unicefi. Natyrisht jam shumë mirënjohës për punën dhe për kushtimin që po bën Ministria e Arsimit, në këtë rast Ministri Ligaj, dhe të gjithë aktorët tjerë që janë përfshirë në këtë aktivitet tepër të rëndësishme. Agjencia e Shoqërisë së Informacionit, duke qenë bardhëse dhe përgjegjëse për ofrimin e mbështetjes dhe përkrahjes për gjitha institucionet e Kosovës, për ofrim të shërbimeve elektronike, e veçanërisht për mbështetje të institucioneve arsimore, edukative arsimore, për mbështetje të mësimit online dhe digitalizimit të proceseve, ne do të vazhdojmë që të ofrojmë bashkëpunimin tonë, të ofrojmë përkrahjen dhe sigurisht se do të shtojmë edhe vlerën e kapaciteteve që ne kishim në dispozicion, natyrisht tani me përkrahjen e projektit financuar nga Unicefi, natyrisht që e gjithë kjo sigurisht që është rezultat jashtëzakonshëm falë mbështetjes dhe bashkëpunimit edhe nga korporata Microsoft, që ka ofruar një gomë të gjerë të produkteve si benefit i përfituar nga një kontratë që ne tani e sa vite e ripërtrim me Microsoftin. Unë uroj sukses dhe besoj që do t'ja dalim mban bashkë me gjithë akterët e përfshirë në këtë proces. Ju falenderoj shumë edhe për ftesën, edhe për prezencën dhe ju uroj suksese në lancimin e pasaportës së mësimit online. Faleminderit shumë.
Faleminderit. Thank you, Director Kushtim Gashi from the Ministry of Interior Affairs, Agency of Information Society. It's important to work together. One of the quick benefits of the learning passport I have seen compared to 3 months back, we were buying 900 computers as assistive technology for children with disabilities. And each computer needed to have software, so you don't give a child a computer without any software. So at that time, we procured computers with the software, and per computer, it was like 30 to 100 euro additional cost to have licensed products in the computers. From now on, with the learning passport, all these 345,000 children and their families, they are eligible to buy a computer without the software. They can use their Scholat.org email address so that they can download all the Microsoft platforms and everything for free. So it's a quick saving also at the family level for every child, for every parent, to purchase a computer or a tablet or anything and use their Scholat.org email address to kickstart learning, download all the recorded videos, and follow their learning. Thank you so much for the Ministry of Interior Affairs support for this process. Now we are going to ground, and from national level, we would like to hear more voices of teachers, voices of young people, and also voices of parents on how they see the education during COVID and how they see Learning Passport or Scholat.org as an opportunity. Last week, 2 weeks back, I visited the Hajdardushi school in Jakova. It's like 2 hours drive from Pristina, where we have a program with mayor of municipality as well as all schools in the municipality. Zana Vokshi, she's a teacher at the upper secondary school. Thank you, Zana, for coming to Unicef office today. The floor is over to you.
Për ftesën të gjithëve. Ju përshëndes juve që jeni këtu prezent, po ashtu edhe ata që po na dëgjojnë online. Kur e rikujtoj muajin mars-prill të vitit 2020, kujtoj panikën, stresin dhe të gjithë ajo që u krijua tek popullata për shkak të pandemisë, situatë e cila përfshiu gati gjithë vendet e botës. Me ndërprerjen e shkollave në atë kohë, me 19 mars, edhe shkolla jonë filloi menjëherë punën rreth organizimit të mësimit në distancë. Shumë mësimdhënës, njohës mirë të teknologjisë, kanë ofruar kapacitetet e tyre për të mbështetur të gjithë mësimdhënësit që kanë pasur vështirësi në ambientimin me mësimin online, duke i ofruar videomateriale, manuale të ndryshme rreth platformave të ndryshme që ne i kemi përdorur si shkollë. Prandaj të mësuarit në distancë përmes platformave digjitale ishte vetmja mundësi që nxënësit të jenë në hap me mësimdhënien. Mësimdhënësit u përballen me sfida dhe me vështirësi të ndryshme gjatë asaj kohe. Ishte ekspozimi i të dhënave gjatë platformave të ndryshme që ne i përdornim dhe nuk e dinim a ishin të sigurta. Mësimdhënësit kishin mungesë përvojës paraprake në mësimin në distancë, po ashtu adaptimi i jonë me teknologjinë për proceset mësimore, ishte mbajtja testeve online që ishte vlerësim ndoshta jo real për nxënësit, e shumë vështirësi të tjera që ndoshta tani duke ju falendëruar mbështetjes nga mashti dhe Unicefi, duke na dhënë një mundësi me platformën shkolla.net, këto vështirësi do të jenë, nuk do të përballemi me këto vështirësi, sepse kjo platformë është shumë e lehtë për përdorim, është një platformë e sigurt, do të kemi një vlerësim sa më real për nxënësit tonë, po ashtu do të kemi video manuale të ndryshme mësimore e shumë mundësi të tjera që do të na lidh trekëndshin tonë mësimdhënës, nxënës dhe prind. Sot pra, jemi në shekullin 21 dhe të gjithë mësimdhënësit duhet të ndryshojnë pak qasjen në mësimdhënien e tyre, duhet të zavancojnë pak edhe më anë të teknologjisë mësimin e tyre në klasa. Ne si shkollë dëshëm ta falenderojmë Unicefin, na ka mbështetur duke na ofruar që edhe në të ardhmen edhe mu kthy në vendet e veta. Prandaj mësimi kombinuar çdo të ndohen klasat në grupin A dhe në grupin B. Një grup qëndron në shtëpi, një grup në klasë, duke e bërë me rotacion. Gjatë kohës, ditën që grupi është A, për shembull, ndodhet në shkollë dhe grupi B ndodhet në shtëpi, tani që kam qasje në internet, unë jam lidh direkt me të dy grupet në klasën time, ku mësimin e zhvilloj online dhe grupi i cili është në shtëpi ka mundësi të më ndjek mu gjatë orës mësimore, ka mundësi të bëj pyetje, ka mundësi të zgjidh detyra dhe të hap kamerën të tregoj detyrat e tij, ndërsa grupi i cili ndodhet në klasë ka mundësi të zgjidh detyrat direkt në tabelë, dhe kjo më ofron një mundësi shumë të mirë që unë të mund të realizoj plan programin tim si duhet, sepse momentin që unë e realizoj një orë mësimore me të dy grupet, atëherë kam realizuar mësimore me gjithë klasën. Pra, është një mundësi shumë e mirë që na ka ofruar Unicefi, duke i falenderuar dhe tash unë do ta përdori vazhdimisht platformën shkollori.org. Kjo ishte çka unë mund ta përfundoj me një thënie, mund të them se teknologjia nuk mund ta zëvendësoj mësues të mëdhenj, por teknologjia në duart e mësuesve të mëdhenj është transformuese. Faleminderit.
Thank you so much, Zana. I felt like going back to my high school, and I remember my mathematics teacher was like you. One day he bring a Commodore 64 and a big television to our classroom and saying, students, hey, this is a computer. And she was teaching us how to do mathematics. 5 plus 10 is 15 on a computer, or 10,000 plus or multiplied by 15,000, and what is the result immediately. So from that days, coming to a stage where everyone is getting connected, where everyone stays connected with their teachers at all time and learning is a huge leap. In addition, mathematics teachers are role models and leads in many schools. We will have a 100-day action plan on getting learning passport implemented, understood by all teachers and families and parent-teachers associations in schools, so that we identify leaders in every school together with the Ministry of Education, and we get the best out of the learning passport use in schools. Now I'd like to invite Abnora Kursani, a parent, to share her own vision and perspective about education at times of COVID. Over to you, Abnora.
Përshëndetje gjithëve. Kam nderën edhe kënaqësinë që sot në cilësinë e prindit të shfaqe dy sfida të mëdha me të cilat ne si prindër jemi ballafaquar tër këtë kohë. Edhe për ne nuk ka qenë e lehtë. Sfida e parë e cila ka qenë më e madhe ka qenë pandemia, e cila ka ndikuar negativisht tek fëmijët tanë dhe në mirëqenien e tyre. Edhe sfida tjetër, të cilë besoj që të gjithë prindërit do të jenë dakord, ka qenë edhe sigurimi i kushteve në mënyrë që fëmijët tanë ta kenë një mbarvajtje më të mirë të mësimit në distancë. Ajo që mua më pëlqeu shumë si prindër edhe që dua t'ju përgëzoj, është vetë platforma digjitale shkollat.org, e cila besoj që do t'jetë një ndihmës me vlerë, jo vetëm për nxënësit që janë fëmijët tanë, por edhe për të gjithë prindërit. Në emër timin, edhe besoj që edhe në emër të gjithë prindërve, ju falenderoj dhe ju përgëzoj për këtë iniciativë, edhe për të gjitha ato që ju bëni për fëmijët, respektivisht nxënësit tanë. Ju faleminderit.
Thank you so much, Abnora, for joining us today and sharing also the dream of every mom and dad to get the best quality education for their child so that they see their children reaching to their full potential, becoming an engineer, a doctor, a nurse, or a teacher in coming years. Thank you for sharing that, and we are in this together. Thank you. Now, it is one of the best and esteemed speaker will join us. It is Alta and Riyad, our youth champions. They have been shaping UNICEF program cycle for 2021 to 2025. They are really going through this COVID as a learner experience. So they are seeing it from their own perspective, what they have been experiencing, what the challenges they are facing, and also how the School.org helps them to stay connected with their friends and peers. Riyad and Alta, it's over to you.
Përshëndetje të gjithëve, unë jam Riyad Mehmeti, jam 16 vjeçar dhe vjoj mësimin në klasën e 10. Sot jam shumë i lumtur që po lansohet një platformë si Shkolla.org, e cila do të na ndihmojë shumë në vimin e mësimit online, sepse siç e dim kemi kaluar shumë vështirësi gjatë pandemisë, duke kaluar në platforma të ndryshme. Dhe tani kemi një platformë që i ka të gjitha në një vend. Mësimet e muzikës, shkencës, artit dhe jo vetëm. Me të vërtet, mendoj se kjo platformë Shkollat.org që u lansua në fakt në bashkëpunim me Unicef dhe Cambridge, Microsoft është një mjet që krizën e kthen në mundësi.
Faleminderit shumë Riyad prej teje. Përshëndetje atë për të gjithë. Unë jam Ilta Bajrami dhe si nxënëse e cila e ka kalu tranzicionin nga mësimi tradicional në klasa në mësim online, jam mëse e lumtur që sot po lansohet platforma Shkollat.org, platforma e cila do të largoj konfuzitetin e krijuar tek ne si nxënës nga platformat e mëhershme. Na kujtohet mëri audit eksperiencat e mëhershme me platformat e shumta si Zoom e Google Meet, ku kemi pas mas pare një angë dhe një stres përdorimi ku gjysa orës shkonte nga gjysa orës humbiste duke i pranua apo i kyç profesorin nxënësat në orë mësimore, e pastaj gjysa duke u mësuar me përdor platformat e tilla. Mirë po tash na si nxënës nuk kemi pse shqetësohemi me platformat Shkollat.org, për shkak se është një platformë e cila është thjesht e përdorshme, mirë po sjell edhe benefitet e saj. Si benefit të kësaj platforme e kemi emailën adresat tona personale, mirë po edhe mirëmbajtja që vije falas, po ashtu edhe paketa e Microsoftit ku ne si nxënës do ta shfrytëzojmë atë. Andaj në emër të gjithë nxënësve, unë bashkë me Riyadin ju falenderojmë ekipit të palosshëm të Unicefit për punën e mrekullueshme që e kanë bërë, Microsoftit dhe Universitetit të Cambridge që me të vërtetë e kanë kthyr krizën në mundësi. Faleminderit shumë.
Thank you, Riyad and Alta, for joining us today and also continuously inspiring us to do better, making recommendations. You are also recent graduates of Upshift, Ponder and Podium experimental learning workshops. And for the rest of the community, Riyad made a call on inclusive education, and he has influenced Ministry of Education to allocate resources for 5,000 children to have computers. Additionally, reaching out with assistive technologies and others to so many children with disabilities. Alta implemented a project on Upshift, which was related to how deaf people can communicate with an app with the rest of the society. So she and her group developed an app on inclusiveness. Scholar.org also provides an opportunity for digital version of Upshift, Ponder and Podium to be part of the curricula that reaches to all students, so they can receive seed funding, they can implement solutions like Riyad and Alta did. In closing up today's session, I would like to highlight 3 points And again, thank you. It's an honor with the international community, with Rama Likai, the Minister of Education, the regional and global experts, as well as Microsoft and so many private sector partners, young people, and so many institutions from Kosovo attending today's discussion. The 3 points, the first one is our vision is putting children at the center of the COVID crisis. It's not only about health, it's not about only business. The children are the ones that are affected, and we need to put that face in front of all partners. And Shkola.org makes it, it's a learning opportunity. We can translate this into an opportunity. Number 2 is it's beginning of a much longer journey. So not having one platform is not the only solution. It's a big milestone for us to celebrate. It brings in 14,000 recorded videos. It brings in one platform for all children and teachers to communicate in their classrooms and beyond. It also provides all teachers to have tailor-made support on improving their IT skills. It provides an opportunity for parents to connect with their students and children's learning, but it is the beginning of a much longer journey to improve quality of education and participation of young people in reforming the education. So with learning platform, the learning passport, we can get immediately feedback from 345,000 children if there is a question to get their views on shaping the education. So it's an amazing platform, but a beginning to a much longer journey. The third point is staying connected with global expertise. We cannot only innovate and create everything here. Great to see the UNICEF regional office, international community, the USA, GIZ, Japan, the UK, the EU, who are influencers on shaping the quality education for all and giving a European perspective for young people so that they can be part of the solution and in creating their future. This needs technical know-how. Thank you, Robert and Afshan, on bringing universities at the global caliber and the private sector at global caliber. Here, the technical startups are ready. The engineers are there, the teachers are there, passionate people are there to unpack, understand, to calibrate, and also to document and share with global expertise. Thank you for putting us in the global map, and we look forward to staying connected. For us, next 100 days is key because there are teachers who do not know how to use an Excel form, who do not know how to download, upload information, so it's not a unique distribution. There are children who do not have access to internet at their homes. So this learning platform will help us to tailor-made training programs of the Ministry of Education for teachers, tailor-made outreach for students who are missing out, who cannot read and write. One of the highlights that the minister did at the beginning was, you know, Kosovo bottom third on the pizza. We can always do better and we will do better. But the 2020 mix says 41% of the children do not have foundational reading skills. 42% of the children in Kosovo do not have numeracy skills. So this means you give a paragraph, children read, they don't understand what they read in that paragraph to communicate to other people. So the quality of education prior COVID was not good. With COVID, it is widening the gap between the poor and the rich and those who are marginalized. So with this learning passport, we are committed to take it to the next level so that everyone reaches to their potential in Kosovo. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Minister Ramelikai. Thank you, parents, and also young people in joining us, as well as so many connecting online. It's over 200, at some time it was more than 300 connections. We were live on Facebook. We were live on mainstream media channels, online portals. So we are receiving so many questions now. The work just starts, a long journey for us. Thank you and congratulations.